Hello and welcome to another episode of the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I am your host, Son X, and with me today, as always, is our NHL analyst and expert, the grumpy old man. They say there's no shame in his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
All right, so before we get into everything that we're going to discuss today, we got to go over some housekeeping rules, correct, Grumpy?
That's right. Housekeeping items.
Yep. So we would like for you guys, if you enjoy the content, and even if you don't, to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X, formerly known as Twitter.
Can I stop you?
What's up?
This is a once a week Islanders podcast.
That's correct. Once a week Islanders podcast. We're shooting for Wednesdays at 9. Around 9. I was a little late today. I had some stuff I had to do before the show, so I got backed up a little bit. But we are shooting for 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also, if you guys do enjoy the content here, of course, as I said earlier, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment, so we can get the podcast out to the masses. Right, Grumpy, out to the masses.
What does it happen when people like the show, X? What does it mean?
It spreads love. It spreads joy.
Spreads love and joy. Is that it?
Right. That's right. Spreads it all over.
It also gooses the algorithm.
It does goose the algorithm. Okay. That is correct. Okay. But it also spreads love and joy. So everybody loves to watch. Love and
joy. Isn't that nice?
And then also, if you guys are interested as well, we do have another channel, which is the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man show. Same kind of ordeal. We just talk all sports on this show. So not just specifically Islanders. Talk everything from football, baseball, basketball, soccer. Well, a little bit of basketball here and there. Not too much.
Women's sports.
Women's sports. That's Grumpy's favorite topic. He enjoys discussing women's sports. World football. Everything.
And then we throw some other stuff. It's just a good time.
It's just a fun show, right? It's just a fun show.
That's very fun. Very true.
All righty. So I think we got ready. We got done with all the housekeeping, correct?
I believe we have.
All right.
And what time? When is that show usually on?
So that show, I think we're shooting for Sundays around, I want to say 8 o'clock.
Sundays at 8.
Sundays at 8, if possible. Maybe a little bit after, depending on if stuff's going on. You never know.
And we had taken a little hiatus from that show.
Yep.
Trying to get X's feet wet.
That's true.
He's still in the shallow end of the pool. So, we're still working on him. But that's going to be Sundays, including this Sunday coming up. So, like I said, last week was our first show on that particular program for like a month. So, but we're going to be back to once a week on Sunday nights, 8 o'clock for the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man show. Don't ask me. We might change the name. Who knows? I don't know. But that show is on Sundays, and this show is every Wednesday. So,
yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's involved with the name change, so
we're not worrying about that right now.
Yeah. All righty, so Grump, first topic of discussion.
But today, we're talking about the New York Islanders, right, X?
That's correct. We are talking about the New York Islanders, and in particular, we're talking about the Islanders' upcoming schedule, which I have here. Don't ask me to blow it up. I cannot blow it up anymore. I've already tried.
Okay, because I've heard a lot of complaints from some Islander fans. The league is screwing us. They hate us. They actually were able to make it bigger. Look at that.
All right. I tried. Okay. I tried and I succeeded.
I mean, we can even go through the first month of the season and see what the Islanders' hypothetical record's going to be.
You want me to give I'll give my take on the first month.
Let's do that. Let's do that after we chit chat about some of these whiny Islander fans complaining that the league has screwed the Islanders because they schedule with so many back-to-backs. And it is true. The Islanders have a boatload of back-to-backs. I don't know if you have that information, X. I'm going to bet you don't.
I do not.
Just know that the Islanders have 16 back-to-back games this year, which, wow, oh my God, it's a crazy amount. Why? Because they're taking off, I believe, 3 weeks in the middle of the season for the Olympics. So there's going to be more back-to-backs. You have 5 teams who have 16 back-to-backs, and then you have 5 who have 15, 4 have 14, then a boatload. I don't know. I can't count that fast. A lot who have 13, 4 who have 12, 2 have 11, and 2 have 9. And the Islanders are one of the lucky teams who have 16. Now, before people go too crazy, oh my God, the Islanders are screwed. The league hates us. They don't want us to be successful. They're scheduling some back-to-backs. Right? That's what everyone's going to complain. Look at the teams who have 16 back-to-back schedules and tell me what something that maybe strikes a chord. It not totally, but San Jose has 16. Pittsburgh has 16. So that's a team in our division. The Islanders have 16. Montreal and the LA Kings have 16 back-to-backs. When I first looked at the first 3 teams, I'm like, oh, maybe they're just putting all the shitty teams and giving them a whole bunch of back-to-backs. That's what I was thinking.
That's honestly, I was about to say the same exact thing when you started listing off the teams. I was like, okay, Pittsburgh is miserable. I was like, I'm pretty sure San Jose is also pretty bad. Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, it seems like they're just dumping it all on the trash teams because they don't care.
But Montreal and the Kings both made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
So that kind of shot my theory down.
Yep.
Then you're looking at 15 teams with 15 back-to-backs. Toronto, they won the Atlantic Division last year. Tampa Bay Lightning, they came in second in the Atlantic. Then you have the Devils, Columbus, and Carolina have 15 back-to-backs. So, okay, for those who are saying how the league screwed the Islanders, well, they only have one more back-to-back than 3 other teams in our division and the same amount as Pittsburgh in Jersey, Columbus, and Carolina. Washington and Philadelphia have 14. And then the last team in the conference is the New York Rangers. They have 13 in the Metro Division. So, oh my gosh, we're showing the Rangers favoritism. I can't believe it. The league wants the Rangers to win. They hate the Islanders. They hate all the teams except for the Rangers. It's just the way it is. It's a crazy year, and you knew there was going to be a whole lot more back-to-backs with the league taking off that much time for the Olympics. So am I upset about it? Not at all, because I'm rooting for the Islanders to have a down year this year. Not because I hate the Islanders, but because I want the Islanders to have one more big draft year, move off some veterans at the deadline, get more first-round picks, get more second-round picks, and then really load up on the prospects and let everybody grow together. That's what I'm rooting for this season. So it doesn't matter to me we have 16 back-to-backs. I wish we would have played 81 games in 80 days or 82 games in 80 days. Have a couple of twice-a-days. Anything so that the Islanders are a little bit lower in the standings.
I think they only do double headers in baseball, Grump.
That is correct, X. It is correct.
I want to say that would be probably a pretty physical toll on your body for hockey.
It would. The attrition rate would be very, very high, I have to admit. But that being said, I just whenever you hear people say stuff like that, I don't think they're taking a lot of things into account, right? Now, there is one thing that I think is it's a disadvantage for the Islanders. 13 of those back-to-backs are road games. So there's going to be more, it's going to be more taxing on your body. But some of them are local road games, like the Islanders and the Rangers are back-to-back. All right, so it has some road travel in there, or Buffalo in here. I mean, it kind of is what it is. That being said, it's not as big a disadvantage as people are making it out to be, like the league's trying to screw the Islanders this year. That was a certain TJ always felt that the league looked out for the Islanders when it came to
previously he did.
And I'm like, I told him at that time that was nonsense. And I'm telling people who are saying the same thing now, complaining about the Islanders' schedule this year, that's nonsense as well.
I'm telling you the reason why the Penguins got the shafted schedule.
Well, they want to make sure they get the McKenna kid.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right. They want the Pens getting the number 1 pick. The passing of the torch from Sid the Squid to McKenna.
Well, and that leads us to opening night for the Islanders. We're playing Pittsburgh.
Should be a win.
You're saying that's a win, right?
I got that as a W.
Okay.
Starting off the season strong.
Now, I'm looking at the schedule. I see it's in orange. And for those who are just listening and not watching on YouTube, we have the Islanders schedule pulled up. And I don't know if orange is a road game and blue is a home game. I don't know. Can you look at that and tell me?
That right now.
It should be somewhere. It should tell us where it is. Okay, I don't see it there. Does it mention anything about opening day? Okay, so they're going to Pittsburgh on opening day. So the orange our road games.
Our away games, blue or
I'm
home.
sorry, our away games, correct.
Yep.
So let's just have fun here for the first, just the start of the show. I'm just interested what I'm going to predict the Islanders' record to be the first 10 games of the season.
I'll give my predictions first, and then
please do that. Please do that. What do you say about Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, we're getting a W.
Getting a W for Pittsburgh.
Getting a W against Pittsburgh. Washington, I think we're going to lose.
Okay, Washington going to lose.
Winnipeg, we're definitely losing.
Okay, even
though
made the
playoffs and made a nice run last year in the playoffs.
1:00 in the afternoon.
I still think we're
home game for Winnipeg.
I still think we're going to lose. Edmonton, I got a loss there.
Okay.
Ottawa, I'm going to say that's probably going to be a loss.
Okay.
We'll beat San Jose. We'll beat Detroit. The Flyers, I think we'll beat the Flyers. Boston, we'll beat Boston. We'll lose to Carolina. And then we will lose to the Caps again. That's what I got.
So you have the Islanders winning. Let's see. It's 1, 2. So out of the first 11 games, you have the Islanders winning 6.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I think so.
You have them beating Pittsburgh,
Yep.
losing to Washington and Winnipeg.
Yep. Losing to Edmonton.
Beating
Ottawa. Beating San Jose.
Beating
Detroit. I think I had them beating Philly also.
Beating Boston.
Losing to Carolina, and then losing to Washington.
Okay, 6-5. Boy, that's pretty ambitious.
High hopes.
Boy, oh boy, pretty ambitious. Okay, I'm going to go. I think the Islanders last year were 3-5-2 through their first 10 games. So I say I think we'll beat Pittsburgh opening night as well. I think we're going to lose to Washington that Saturday night. I think we're going to have an overtime loss to Winnipeg. So that's 1-1-1. I think we lose to Edmonton 1-2-1. We're going to lose to Ottawa 1-3-1. We're going to beat San Jose 2-3-1. We lost every game we played against Detroit last year. And I think we're going to lose to them again. So I'm going to say a loss to Detroit, which makes it 2-4-1. I hate the Flyers. I'll never predict us to beat the Flyers. So I'll say 3-4-1 after we beat the Flyers. I think Boston will be an overtime loss on the road, 3-4-2. And I think we're going to lose. Of course, we're going to lose to Carolina, 3-5-2, and then to Washington as well. So 3-6-2 will be our record after 11 games through the month of October. That's what I'm saying. Does that bother me that we be 3-6-2? Nope, not at all. We're not going any further. We're just going to do October. We're not going to go any further than that.
Okay, you didn't want to go through the season?
No. But I think 3-6-2. We might be 4-5-1, something like that. But I think we'll have a losing record. I just, when I look at the team as it's currently constituted, I just don't think we have the horses to beat many good teams this year. That's all I'm going to say.
All righty. And I think the next topic that we had was Matthew Schaefer discussing wanting to play with the Islanders this year coming up.
Right. Matt Schaefer said, it's his goal to play for the New York Islanders this year. Okay, great. He did say that's something he needed to get bigger and stronger. 100% agree.
Yep.
It's not like when you're a defenseman, it's not like you're a wing. The last 3 defensemen who were drafted number 1 overall, none of them played their first year with the big team. It's just a huge step up. Cale Makar, I think he was 19, I think he was 20 when he finally came up to play for Colorado. It's just really, really hard because you have to play down low against bigger, more physical players, men.
Yep.
And I think it's a real struggle for younger players. Matthew Schaefer only weighs 172 pounds at the combine. I don't know what he weighs now. Even if he's 178, that's a lot. And he's a guy who's not afraid to mix it up. He's 6'2". He can skate like the wind, but I don't think he's going to be ready for the rigors of the NHL. He's only 17. He doesn't even turn 18 until I believe September 10th. So just like 10 days before or 2 weeks before the season starts. And it's like, do you really want to subject him to that? I think the worst thing you can do with a prospect is just throw him in on a bad team and just say, hey, sink or swim, kid, because that's how you develop bad habits.
Yep.
You can kill a kid's confidence. I don't think that's the case with this young man. I mean, he's about as rock solid of a person.
But still, you don't want to risk it.
But you don't. That's right. You don't want to risk it. Particularly on. Go ahead, X.
I was going to say, especially in a season where it really means nothing, you're not going to. Chances are you're probably not winning anything this year, and you're looking towards building towards the future. I mean, I would not rush him. I would let him develop in college. Put on some more weight. Get better skills, everything, and then go ahead and come up in like next year.
Exactly. Absolutely. And, a lot of, you could let him play the first 9 games and send him back to juniors. I don't want him going back to juniors. I'd much rather have him play in college in the United States. He has not signed a ZLC as of right now. Victor Eklund has.
Yep.
And, and all it means, he's not going to play in the NHL this year either. He's going to be going back to Sweden. But what does it say about Victor Eklund, right? He's just, all it says is he's locked in with the Islanders. Matthew Schaefer isn't going anywhere. If you go to college, I don't think you can sign your ELC. I could be
wrong. I
think
it's due to you getting that NIL money.
Right. I mean, and you saw Martone, who was, I think Philadelphia drafted him. He committed to Michigan State.
Yep.
So I'm going to check to see. I don't think he signed his ELC either. But that's more of a case of, well, you know what? Like I said, he's going to college, so there's no way that they're going to let me see what it has here. I hate to do this on the fly like this.
Here, I can look it up.
Yeah, just see if he signed his ELC. I don't believe he has, honestly, because he's going to college. So there's no way that I don't think that's the way it works. I could
be wrong. He's headed to college. He said, could he sign his ELC at the end of the season? Hold on, they got an article on it. Here, give me a second.
But I don't think he signed it as of now.
No, he is not.
Right.
They're talking about him signing at the end of the season, so I don't think he can sign because he decided to go to college.
Right, exactly. And that's why I don't want him signing his ELC right now. And that could be the Islanders thinking as well. I mean, unless you let him come to training camp and they see where he's at and they're like, no. But, then it's going to have to be late going into college. I mean, I guess they could get him in somewhere late. But the fact that he hasn't signed his ELC tells me that the Islanders are still hedging their bets on that as of right now. Even though he wants to play for the Islanders, I'd say slow your roll. Let's just play a year in college against, kids who are 21, 20, 21, 22, bigger, more physically advanced, but not playing in a men's league because he has nothing to gain to play back in juniors. Absolutely nothing.
He's already dominated there.
Right. I mean, and again, he played 22 games, including tournaments last year before he was injured and out for the rest of the year. And he was dynamic, right?
Yep.
So does he need to go back there? I don't think so. I don't think it benefits his development. I don't know if he's a great student or not. No idea. But I would, if I had my druthers, he'd go play college this year. So maybe that's a reason why he has not signed his ELC yet, because he certainly seems eager to play for the Islanders. And maybe they're just let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. So that's what I'm hoping. But it does lead us into a little bit of a dilemma when it's coming, when we're talking about the Islanders, though, right? And the upcoming season. And X, what kind of dilemma do you think it would have? I mean, because if you look at the Islanders roster last year at the start of the season compared to now, we're noticing something on the back end defensively.
We're having a defensive issue.
Yes. I don't know if you can click on the depth chart from Puckopedia. Is that something?
I got the defensive depth chart up right here.
Okay. There's a tab that says depth chart. It's all the way over. If you scroll, there you go. Just click on that. And for those who are looking, we're just looking at the Islanders' depth chart. Left-handed defenseman, which is what Matt Schaefer is. Right now, we're looking at your left shot defensemen are Adam Pelech, the horrible Alexander Romanov, and Adam Boqvist, who, let's be honest, now he's a right shot defenseman. They have him on the left side in this particular model. He doesn't play any defense. I'd much rather have him as a center, honestly. I thought he looked better on both sides of the puck when he was playing as a forward, because he does show a little bit of defensive acumen as a forward. As a defenseman, he's terrible. Then our right shot defensemen are Ryan Pulock, Tony DeAngelo, and Scott Mayfield. When Adam Boqvist is your starting defenseman, it's like, okay, why is that all we have? If you scroll a little bit further down, we can look at some of the guys who are in the Islanders organization. Can you scroll down?
About minors.
A little bit further down into okay, I'll just read off who their left shot prospects are. Excuse me. You're looking at Isaiah George. I'm not even going to talk about HSN or anybody who was drafted this year. They're not making it. But Isaiah George, who had I believe a 31-game cup of coffee with the Islanders last year. And he showed last year that he was not physically up to the task. He can skate and he can move the puck, but he's not there defensively as of right now. He'd be your number 7 defenseman. After him, you have Kallio Dalius, who was the number 2 draft pick for the Islanders so many years ago. He's still in the organization. He would be behind him. And then we have Jesse Pulkkinen, the big defenseman from Finland, who's 20 years old. I don't think he's ready either. But and then we have the guy that we signed, a free agent, in Ethan Bear, who honestly, I think he would get a shot before. He would be the guy, I think, who would be your number 7 defenseman, or maybe Boqvist. I don't think they're going to bring up Isaiah George to be the number 7 defenseman or Pulkkinen. I think it'll be a veteran like Ethan Bear, who's kind of been through the rigors and been through the wars before. But it does lead to a little bit of a dilemma. If we could just go back to the depth chart, please. It does bring us a little bit of a dilemma defensively. It's like, ooh, we're a little short. And the Islanders have had injuries to their back end the last couple of years. Pelech is always out for an extended period of time. Mayfield has had an injury history the last few years. Pulock has had an injury history. It's like, wow, that depth chart gets mighty thin, mighty fast on the back end.
I mean, you got 4 guys who are almost 30.
Well, you have 3 guys who are 30.
Yeah, I know. And then one that's 29.
Yeah.
I'm just saying ages are old.
Right. Well, they can still play.
I know, but I'm saying the older you get, the more risk of injury you have.
Yes.
Your body can't take the shots that it used to, and it's like you get 1 or 2 defensemen hurt. What do? You're up a creek without a paddle. And
that's where I think the Islanders are at. They don't have a lot of veteran depth in their minors anymore. They're mostly younger players.
And I don't have those players to bring up.
And or they're maybe not ready to step up right now. That's why I think Ethan Bear would probably be the number 7 guy. Unless they want to keep him down or somebody really impresses in camp, they say, okay, we're gonna run with him. Maybe Isaiah George looks phenomenal in camp, and they're like, okay, we're gonna run with him. But then it brings you to, let's say Isaiah George looks great this year, just fantastic. You have Matthew Schaefer coming in. You sign that useless clown Romanov to an 8-year contract extension. Somebody is going to be left out in the cold. And I'm not talking about Boqvist. I'm talking about Adam Pelech. If Isaiah George shows that he can really play,
move Pelech.
You have to move Pelech. You're not gonna keep him on the bench. But of course, that's if Isaiah George just blows the lights out.
Yeah.
Says, man, he's great. I don't think that's going to be the case, but you would certainly hope to see some development this year from him as opposed to last year. And I thought he was okay, particularly early on for the Islanders. but you could just tell that he just looked small out there because he's still a young boy yet. So hopefully he's put some weight on. That's what I think that he needed to do in the offseason. All these young kids need to do that, right? They need to get their man strength on. And I think that's going to be a problem with the Islanders going forward. And it could be, it could not be. I like the Ethan Bear signing. A lot of people didn't. Oh, why are we signing him? Well, because he's a guy you can plug and play. Is he great? Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he an all-star candidate? No, he's not. He's a solid veteran. I liked him when he played for Carolina. But Carolina makes all their defensemen look pretty good. So maybe there's something to be said for that. But it's just interesting. I was just thinking about what happens to the depth chart if Matthew Schaefer does go to college or doesn't play. It leaves us just a little bit thin on the back end. And injuries, like I said, always happen.
Yep.
So that's something that we have to worry about going forward. I'm not even going to touch on the forward group today. It just makes me angry. So I'm just not going to. But we do see a couple of guys in the press box here, Pierre Engvall and Kyle McLean. So, and there you see, and there's Ethan Bear, where they're showing him there. Yeah. I think Ethan Bear, if it's going to be between Bear and Boqvist, I think you're going to see Bear potentially be the starter there. I think he'll certainly be the number 7 defenseman. But again, if one of the kids shines, it's easy to slide him down as your number 7 D-man, press box guy.
Yep.
So I don't have a problem with that at all. I know we want to hit some comments early today. Like I said, free agency's over, people.
Yep.
If you look at the Islanders roster right now, this is what it's going to be. Do we want to just look at the forward group real quick, just to make me angry? Here we go. I'm looking at these lines, and once again, this is from Puckpedia. This is where they're moving Matt Barzal back to center position, which I have no problem with. They have Horvat. Bo Horvat is the number 1 center.
Now, I have a question on that. Why would Barzal not be the number 1 center? Is Horvat just that much better?
I don't know. He's not. And I don't know if 1 versus 2 versus 3 versus 4, you're going to see the 1 and 2 lines. Matt Barzal is going to get a lot of ice time, if healthy. He's going to get a lot of ice time. But you're looking at, when you're looking at this line breakdown, you're looking at who works with who, or, who's a creator for each line. And I can understand why Horvat is centering Kyle Palmieri, who's more of a shooter type and a mucker and a grinder, as is Horvat. But Jonathan Drouin is absolutely a creator. So I think that's a good fit.
That's why they separated them.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you could put Drouin on a line with Matt Barzal.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't do that with Matt Barzal. You cannot put Drouin with him. Simon Holmstrom, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if he's ready for second line minutes, but he showed tremendous growth last year. Again, not afraid to go into corners. I don't have a problem putting him on a line with Matt Barzal. And captain below average, Anders Lee. He's worked with Matt Barzal before. He likes to plop in front of the net. Fine. Maybe there's a resurgence from him. Maybe he scores a bunch of goals the first half of the season. So it's like, fantastic, Anders Lee. Time to move on from you at the trade deadline.
Now, Grumpy, let me ask you a question. Out of the 4 lines we have here for, the offensive guys, which line do you think is going to be the most productive this year in points wise?
I think it's going to be the second line.
Second line.
If Matt Barzal's healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, could be the first line. I mean, like I said, I don't think Simon Holmstrom is going to be a great point producer in this league. Anders Lee, he'll score you some goals just by standing in front of the net. The first line is probably, I think the first and second lines are pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. Horvat's going to get you some goals. Palmieri will score some goals. I don't know how many. I think he's done. I never understood signing him to an extension. Consider where the team is now. Jonathan Drouin's the X factor. He was really good with Nathan McKinnon. Is he going to be like that playing for the Islanders? No idea. As we talked about on last week's show, he didn't even seem to really care if they were winning. He just wanted, hey, I know it's a good area. I like hanging out here. All the people said it's a great place to live, great atmosphere, culture. They nothing talk about winning though, which concerns me a little bit when it comes to him. But I was willing to roll a dice on Jonathan Drouin, and I think maybe he'll work well with Palmieri and Horvat. At least that's what the thinking is. So I mean, he's the
I don't
X
think his
factor.
point production is going to be as good though.
He's the X factor. It won't be. I don't think it'll be what it was playing with.
There's not many Nathan McKinnons. Exactly. I was going to say there's not many Nathan McKinnons in the league. So,
and then you're looking at number 3 line. You got JG Pajot, at least in this model once again, flanked by Shabanov, the kid they just signed from Russia. We'll talk about that in a second. And the quitter, Anthony Duclair. I, for the life of me, don't understand how Anthony Duclair is still on this team. He quit on your team last year. Quit on them. He was when the Islanders signed him, he was 9 teams in 11 years. You know why now. You absolutely know. We didn't know. Now we know. The fact that you're bringing him back, it was another Lamoriello hideous free agent signing. Gave him a 4-year deal at $3.5 per. I'm sorry. No, I don't want that guy in the organization.
Why would Wah not just bench him?
Maybe he will. He had a problem with Wah calling him out.
See, to me, if I'm coach and somebody does that, no problem. You can have fun picking splinters out of your butt, riding the pine. You ain't playing on my team.
I don't want a guy. I don't want a guy like that on the team. That'll screw up your locker room real quick. How do the other guys in the room look at a guy like that who just quit?
The loser.
And
that's why I look at him. You're a loser.
I mean, and then you got Shabanov on the other wing. He's 5'6", 5'7", 155 pounds. I don't see how he plays on the third line. If you're going to play a kid like that, he's got to be on a scoring line. Who's he going to check? Usually the third line is your checking line, right? You match up against the other team's top line defensively.
Where would you put him, though? Which line would you put him on?
I'd let him play in the minors. I don't think he's ready for the big show.
Well, let me ask, who else would be the third liner then?
You have Pierre Engvall, who you could slide in there. You could move Siplikov up to that third line.
Okay, so Siplikov can play right wing also.
Well, he could play left wing, and you could put Kyle McLean on the right wing, or he could play center, or you could put Henneman up on the third line. I mean, he was the big guy, big trade chip that we had to bring in from Montreal, a fourth liner, right? That was the big asset we brought back from Montreal as a talent player-wise, as opposed to getting a younger defenseman to fill in our spot like Reinbacher, who absolutely would have helped us going forward. But they wanted Henneman, and that was a Darce thing, right? They wanted Henneman. Okay, fine. No problem. I don't see how Shabanov works on the third line, on a checking line.
You think you need to be top 2 pairing?
I think should be on one of the first 2 lines.
Okay.
And is he going to be able to physically handle the grind of the NHL? That's a big.
With the size, I would say it's going to be difficult. But if there's any era where a player could probably play that's a little bit smaller, it would be now with the limit of checking and fighting that, goes on. There's not as much as what used to be.
Can you play him against Florida?
No.
No.
They're too physical.
They'll eat him alive.
Well, regular season, yeah. You can't play them in the playoffs, though.
They'll be cleaning him out of their teeth at the after game meal. Oh,
yeah.
He's a little.
In the playoffs, he would get rocked for sure.
Yeah. And then you're looking at the fourth line, which I think is a pretty good fourth line. Cizikas centering, even though Cizikas was invisible, totally invisible last year. I thought he was. I didn't even think he was playing half the time. Siplikov, who played his best hockey on the fourth line, and Emil Henneman. And, that's a solid fourth line. But then you look at guys who are sitting up in the press box. You have guys like Pierre Engvall. and Kyle McLean. Myself, I think Engvall deserves another shot. I would have no problem putting him on that third line instead of Anthony Duclair. I don't want anything to do with Anthony Duclair. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And Kyle McLean has shown that he can play, either, third line minutes, but he's basically a fourth line center. If you can just scroll back to where we were before, please, X. Yeah, there we go. There's one name that we don't see here, though. And that's the guy we picked up in the Brock Nelson trade, Callum Richie. I don't have a problem that Callum Richie's not playing. I'm a little bit disappointed that Patrick Waugh or Matthew Darsh said that they're going to put Matt Barzal back at the center slot. And purely for selfish reasons, I wanted J.G. Pajot to be a second-line center this year. Why? Because he's going to score a lot more points on the second line, which makes him more valuable come trade deadline. Again, my end game is getting as high a draft pick and as many kicks at the can in the first round in next year's loaded draft.
You're looking towards the future.
That's all I'm doing with this particular team. And that's why I was a little bit disappointed when they said, oh, J.G. Pajot is going to be back to being your third line center. And that's his best spot. But when we traded for him from Ottawa, he had played he was their second line center and he was putting up good offensive numbers. So we wildly overpaid for him, a first, a second, and a third for a third line center, which is ridiculous.
Well, Grump, what's the thing that you always tell me about when I say teams should just suck, teams should just bomb out? What's the thing you always tell me all the time about coaches?
Well, coaches, that's not good for coaches.
Exactly. So that's why they're going to play J.G. Pajot.
But when you bring in new management like Matthew Darsh, the expectation should be, okay, we're going to take a step back. Okay. It's about developing for the future. And you're in lockstep with the coach.
Yeah, that's I understand where you're coming from and I get what you're saying, but I guess looking at it from owner's standpoint, they're going to want somebody to come in and change the team right away for the better, right? They're not going to be like, oh yeah, we really want to suck this year so we can, dominate the next 2, 3, 4 years down the road, right? They're like, we want instant impact. We want the team to change overnight. We want to be dominant now. We want to win as many games now, right?
Okay, but if your head coach and your upper management and the ownership are all in agreement saying, hey, we're going to take a step back this year, it shouldn't matter.
How often does that happen?
Well, I think it happens more than you think.
Where owners say, yeah, you know what? We really want to suck. We want to put a crappy product out there on the ice where we make no money in ticket sales because we're going to be tanking to lose every game.
I don't think the team is going to be tanking to lose.
If you're talking about taking a step back, I look at that as we want to suck this year.
I'm talking about let's develop the young guys and cull the older guys off the team. That's what I'm talking about.
I understand, but okay, you were just talking about point production. Well, you were talking about production from Pajot, right? You feel that he's best suited on the third line. He plays best on the third line.
That's correct.
Well, why would a coach or why would an owner want him to play on? I know you selfish reasons, right? You want him to play on the second line. Why would a coach or an owner say, I want to have Pajot play on the second line, even though he's better on the third and he can produce more for the team? I want him to play on the second line.
Because your team is not as good as it was last year.
I understand, but ownership-wise, right?
Okay, and let's just read this from NHL Rumor Report. Jeff Marek says, I think the Islanders are going to ultimately move J.G. Pajot, but I don't think they're going to do it until Cal Richie gets 30 games in the AHL. When he's ready, they pull the trigger. And that's true. That's what I think is going to happen. I have no problem with that. You let him play. And that's what I think I even mentioned on this show 2 episodes ago, maybe even last episode, because I repeat myself a lot. So I think you want that kid to play in every single situation. You want him to be your third line center going forward. That's what you want. Maybe he becomes good enough to be a second line center, but to start, he's only 21. To start, you want him to get those play on the third line.
Let's say he becomes a second line center. Where does Barzal shift to then?
You put him back on the first line wing.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
Then you have 2 creators in Horvat.
Horvath's not a creator.
I know you said Druin was a creator, so I said you're gonna have two.
Druin's only here for 2 years, and like I said, these things aren't set in stone. If you can slide, Lee should be gone at the end of the year. Druin could drop to the second line.
Okay.
I mean, there's, like I said, I'm just talking about this year. I'm not talking about next year. But Cal Richie, to me, in Bridgeport, should play not every minute, but he should play on the power play. He should play on the penalty kill. He should play in every single high leverage situation just for him to develop.
And high pressure situations too.
That's right. So when he comes up, he's used to playing the tougher minutes in minors, and albeit it will be the minors, but still, that's what you want from him.
Yep.
At least that's what I want. I want him where he comes in and they develop him in the minors under Rocky Thompson. I am hopeful that Bridgeport is into developing the younger players now, because they have not developed any younger players.
All in.
Forever. I mean, you want a teacher down there in the minors. Number one, a teacher. You are going to have a lot of young guys coming through the Bridgeport or wherever they go pipeline in the next few years. You want a teacher in that spot, somebody who teaches them what it's like to play in the NHL. That's what you want. That's what the Islanders should want. I'm not saying I want Bridgeport to go out and be as bad as they were last year, but it should all be about developing the younger players in the next few years. That's what the whole organization should be about. That's just my opinion. But as we know, I'm always right when it comes to these things. Always.
That's right. I told you should be GM. I don't know what they're doing. They're dragging their feet.
I know they got the bald guy, and I got more hair than he's got.
Yeah, they should just instate you tonight. Honestly, I think we need to go ahead and put some out on Twitter. A petition. We needed a petition started. Get Grumpy in as GM.
There you go. There you go. Like I said, that's what I was hoping with JG Pajot, to increase his value come trade deadline time. That's why that's the only reason I want him to be on the second line.
No, I understand that. I was just saying from an owner standpoint, though, they're looking to maximize ticket sales. They're looking to make a profit on the team. They're going to put players in the position that they feel is going to best suit the team, more so than, pumping someone's numbers up to trade them.
Okay. We were the 10th worst team in the league last year. We had some injuries.
And I understand.
And we replaced Noah Dobson with nobody.
The guys in the minors.
And Brock Nelson for Jonathan Drouin. Is that safe to say that's his replacement? I mean, I don't know. It seems like your team's taking a step back.
No, I understand. And I'm just saying,
and that
looking at it from an ownership standpoint, who has all, money invested in the team, they're trying to maximize the value that they can get and maximize ticket sales. If the team is intentionally, just inflating JG Pajot's numbers, right, as opposed to trying to win games, they're not going to make ticket sales.
Okay, you can't look to the end of your nose. And a lot of fans do, though. They look from here to here. I would think that ownership knows when they talk to Matthew Darsh. He didn't say, "Yep, we're going to be Stanley Cup contenders next year." You know how I know that? Look at the moves he's made this offseason. That doesn't scream at guys as we're in it to win it. It's somebody who's saying, okay, we're going to take a little step back. We're going to sign Jonathan Drouin. We got some money. We want to put some points on the board, maybe make the team a little bit more exciting, more fun to watch. That's about it.
Do you think that they'd be doing that because they might be looking to get out of owning the team?
Oh, my God. Is TJ on the line? No. I don't think it's a Property Brothers scam at this particular point in time.
My thoughts, as I said earlier, are they're looking to maximize the amount of money that they're getting from ticket sales. If you're intentionally sucking, or the team is, as you said, looking to take a step back, which I look at it as, we're trying not to win as many games. We're trying to inflate certain players' stats to then sell them at the end of the year. That's not going to draw people in to watch your team. It's just not going to happen.
I'm not saying they're consciously looking to make a step back. I'm just saying
their moves is that if you get the ownership and you get GM and you get coach on board to take a step back.
If you say to ownership, if Matthew Darst comes into ownership and says, hey, Ledecky and Malkin, Collins, we're going to have, you realize what we have is not good enough. We're going to have to change things up. First thing, they didn't sign Noah Dobson back. They did not want to commit to Noah Dobson. Regardless, I mean, he signed for $9.5 million in Montreal. That move is going to be a steal for Montreal, an absolute steal for them in the coming years, a steal. You didn't bring anyone in to replace him. So it's like, okay, that's a huge loss on your back end. Huge, monstrous loss on the back end. No other way you can say it. Huge loss. You traded Brock Nelson. He traded himself at the deadline. Ownership had to be all in on that. They wanted to re-sign him because that's what Lou Lamoriello wanted to do. Bring everybody back. So you wind up losing him and you replace him with Jonathan Drouin, potentially. Jonathan Drouin has never scored 30 goals in a year. Who's going to score the goals? That's what it comes from this year. I mean,
they saved what? So you wanted $9 million a year, right?
I don't know.
So they saved $5 million a year by getting rid of them. So they're saving money, which is bringing more money into their pockets. They brought somebody in who's attractive as a forward, right? Who's going to score goals and get some assists, who's probably a little bit of a flashy player. He's going to draw eyes, right? He's going to draw people into the stands. So they're getting the ticket sales that they want. They don't care about anything else. I'm telling you, just from a business standpoint, which is all that these owners care about, that at the end of the day, that's all they care about. I think that's in every sport. All they care about is just making money. They don't care about the fan interaction. They don't care what the fans think, period. They care about making money at the end of the day. They're looking at what's going to make them the most money and what's going to put the most money in their pockets.
Okay. I just don't think that's the case. I'm going to sneeze here, X. Talk for a minute.
Bless you.
I have another one coming too. I had, believe me, everyone, you wanted me silent on that sneeze.
Yeah, you probably threw your back out like Sammy Sosa.
I'm usually a 2 sneeze guy. So I only had one that time, which is good. I mean, we're going to see. But for me, I don't think that's the overreaching thing is how much money. No one was going to the games last year. So it didn't matter. Losing teams don't fill the stadiums.
Okay, well, I'm saying I'm almost positive certain people were going to the games last year. It's not like nobody went.
Yeah, there were empty seats, fans disguised as
people disguised as empty seats, fans disguised as empty seats.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just saying I think they would rather have some fans in than none at all. Because if you go by the mindset of, we're playing a player that's just in this spot to go ahead and boost their trade value, people are not going to want to go see that.
Okay, I think maybe it'll be fair to say that they were just kind of treading water this year to get to next year. Perhaps that's it. It's a deeper free agent pool, potentially. With the cap going up, a lot of teams are going to re-sign their guys, but there's potentially a deeper free agent pool in this year, which was not good at all.
Yeah.
And that's what when the salary cap goes up, it means teams can spend on their own players.
Yep.
They'd much rather
get them to sign back.
That's right. They'd much rather, if it's a big player, they'd much rather sign their own guys back than saying, okay, we're going to lose a guy who puts up, scores 30 goals, gives us 50 assists, and we're going to roll the dice with somebody else. They already know what they have.
100% agree.
So, yeah.
All righty. Do you want to get to some comments now?
I'd love to get to some comments, X. That's what I'd like. Oh, what is this?
Here we go. We got the seats.
Oh, attendance graph. Oh, is this how many seats are available for every game?
Yeah, this is how much attendance they had for the 2024-2025 season.
Where are the Islanders? Oh. Pretty low.
Not last.
Okay, Utah. You would think, I don't know.
Team.
I don't know. Okay, look at now Winnipeg.
Which is honestly kind of surprising, the fact that they made the playoffs last year. You would have thought more people were going to the games.
It's a Winnipeg problem. Maybe they don't have that many.
They packed that stadium for the playoffs. With the whiteout, they packed the hell out of that stadium.
Okay, let's start with Utah, though. I don't know how big Utah Stadium is.
I don't know what their capacity is. Let's look it up.
It could be that they're in a small arena right now. It's their first year in that market. So you would think that they should be selling out that particular arena. You would think. And they were okay last year. They were better than the year before.
11,131.
That's the size. That's the capacity of the stadium.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
they have plans to increase to approximately 17,000.
Okay, so can you put that back up then?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, because I thought that was almost sellout for them every night, Utah. I mean, if that's just the size of their arena, they were selling out every night, which would not surprise me. I mean, they're new ticket in town. I can see that happening. Then you had San Jose, who was the worst team in the league. Then you had, I don't know, because can you just put it back up, please?
Give me a second. I'm pulling it up. Oh, hold on. This is
Winnipeg had 14,000 something. And, this is Winnipeg's second run to the team. You would think a team, I don't know how big their arena is, but you would think that they would have more fan support. Like I said, I don't know the arena size, so I'm kind of hamstrung by that. Anaheim, terrible team, 15,800. Then the Islanders, almost 15,979. Buffalo. I mean, look at, with the exception of Winnipeg, these are some bad teams down the bottom, right? Continue to scroll up a little bit there, X, so we can see some of the other teams. Jersey, 16,000. Pittsburgh, terrible. Seattle, terrible. Kings, Preds, Senators, Flames. Okay, and now you're getting, a lot. But, I mean, the Islanders were, fifth from the bottom?
Yes.
Not good.
Fourth.
Not good. And I'm going to bet those are probably sold tickets as opposed to fannies and seats. That's what I'll say. I don't know. Okay. So let's get to some comments, please, X.
All right.
Matthew Sklarov says, good evening, gents. You're late. Fire X, hire me.
I know I was late today. Sorry.
Yep.
We'll try to not have that happen again. I do not want the MO of TJ.
We'll try. Craig, the regular human bartender, says, I guess TJ is back with these scheduling times. Let's go, X.
No, it's my fault.
Thomas Antonetti says, good evening, gents. Do we think Sipikov will sign a contract prior to his arbitration hearing? And if so, are you thinking 1 year, multiple years? I can't see them going over $3 million annually on him. I don't think he deserves $3 million annually, first of all, after the year he had last year. At the end, he was a fourth line player. I think the thing you have to worry about with arbitration is really alienating a player. Most guys do not go through the arbitration process. They settle somewhere in the middle and they move on from there. The Islanders certainly have the cap space to fit him in there. I don't know what he's looking for. All I remember was when Milbury and Tommy Salo went to arbitration, and Milbury made Salo cry. And, is that what you want?
With his shoe? Is that why you made him cry?
He belittled him and said he was a shitty player, and he made the kid cry. I don't think that's conducive to a good working relationship going forward. No. And maybe it says more about Tommy Salo than Mike Milbury, but still, if you're running,
I think we already knew that about Milbury ahead of time.
But if you're running somebody down so much that you're making him cry, dude, come on.
Business.
I think the closer it gets to arbitration, the more you say that it's gonna happen. I don't know what he's looking for. I really don't. Okay, so it's percentage of percentage. Okay, so the Islanders sold. I'm going to say those are tickets sold.
92 points. Okay, but still, at the end of the day, tickets sold, they don't care. That's money that they're getting, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they were one of their bottom third of the league.
I'm saying they sold 92.6%. I'm going to say they'd probably be, if they decided to, intentionally just inflate certain player stats and not care about how the team produces overall, they'd be in that 80% percentile range.
Okay, it's not about inflating player stats. You want a player to look as good as possible and as versatile as possible. When he's available for trade, you can move him and get more for him. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. JG Pageau has played second line center in his career.
I'm just saying, you yourself said that he would be more productive.
He's he's more of a third line center than a second because he's so good defensively. He's older too. So, I mean, like I said, I just want him to look as good as possible, put up as good a numbers as he can this last year for the trade deadline. That's all I said. I don't care about the other stuff. I selfishly want the Islanders to be better going forward. Yes, that is what I want.
And ownership wants more money.
Cliff Neal says, is TJ back? You're so late.
I know.
Yeah, it's on you, X.
I was busy. I had stuff I had to do.
Different Mind says, anyone else thinks Son X is starting to look more and more like TJ with each episode?
Oh, God, no.
Frank from Empire State goes, hey, audience bros. Hey, Grumpmeister and X-Man. What's up, Frank?
X-Man, what's up?
Goon says, Ozzy has died. By the end of the season, will the Islanders be fried? Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne died yesterday, 76 years old. I heard he was even doing a concert sitting in a chair last week. If that's not the absolute antithesis of Ozzy Osbourne, I don't know what is. And it makes you question the family sending him out there where he's dead a week later.
He got the Stan Lee treatment.
He couldn't even, not even Stan Lee. I mean, Bruce
Stan
Willis
Lee was out there doing autograph signings like right before he died. They had him doing like meet and greets and stuff right before he passed away.
Well,
they have like literally have a whole documentary on it.
Okay.
Somebody filmed like the whole ordeal of like the tours that he was going on right before he passed.
How bad did he look? How bad did he?
I mean, it was Stan Lee, real bad. They had him where they were just locking him in rooms with a whole bunch of like this stuff. They just like would leave him in a closet.
Oh,
I'm like, holy cow! It was bad. It was bad. You should watch it if you get a chance.
I'm glad I'm not famous like that, X. Because I know.
I mean, the fact that they just treated him like garbage.
Because I know you and TJ would absolutely put me in a situation like that.
Yeah, we'd probably definitely lock you in a room.
Friend from Empire State says, "What's the date for Siplikov?" I want to say it's the next 2 weeks. No,
for his hearing.
Yep, I want to say it's the next 2 weeks. X, you should have that at your fingertips, by the way.
I will look it up. All right.
State of Survival says, yeah, Son X is the non-bald version of TJ. Ouch. Ouch. Freedom from Events goes, Ubluke. So I don't know what Ubluke is. Maybe it's unlike Sunday night. Little X remembered to send the notification. Good job. Isles have ad on LinkedIn for dance team, mascot handler, and hype team.
July 29th is his hearing, by the way.
Okay, so it's 6 days from today. So it'll probably be next Monday, right?
Yep.
Something like that. I don't know. It'll be soon enough. Teams try to avoid the arbitration. They do. Siplikov's not going to make a whole lot of money. What's the difference? $500,000?
Just pay it.
You have
not them. Not to them. They're cheap.
Craig, the regular human bartender says, Siplikov did not perform to expectations, should be not paid as though he did. I don't care if he is on the team or not, but mediocre player in a rebuild season shouldn't take up lots of salary. I agree. He shouldn't. You can sign into a 1-year deal. He's still an RFA. Jason Cameron says, I like Son X. He's doing a great job. Jason knows how to get his comments read.
Yep, that one's up there. That was a good one. That might be comment of the night.
Freedom Fun Adventure goes, I stopped by Buc-ee's where TJ now works and recognized him immediately by his hairline and his Noah Dobson calf tattoo. He was horrible to me and my puppy. He charged me 3 times for the same item. That is something TJ would do.
And then he pocketed it the other 2 times.
Very true. Guggenwood says there are rumors that Schaefer wants to play on the big team from the start of the season. In Siberia, is it freezing? Yep, we already talked about that.
Yep.
Dale S. says, what is Siplikov's term and amount? I don't know what he's asking for.
I don't know what the amount is, but are you talking about when the date is or no?
No, he's talking about how many years and how much money.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know what he's asking, and I don't know what the Islanders are offering. But I'm just surprised. You don't want to go to arbitration. You just don't. Just meet in the middle and just split it. I mean, does he want 5 years? That's a ridiculous ask. Just give him 2 years. You never even know. He might not even be here in 2 years.
It
He might
says
turn out
this is on July 22nd. Somebody commented. It said reported that the Islanders were looking at a deal paying $2 million AAV down for 3.25. That seems to indicate Waugh sees Siprikov as a bottom six guy.
That's where he played, as a bottom sixer. He doesn't have enough pace in his skating. He takes dumb penalties. He gets lost behind the net. He didn't. Okay, he got paid whatever entry level was last year, so I can't say he didn't earn that. But I don't think he deserves a big raise. So if he wants 3.2, the Islanders want to give 2, split it in the middle. Give him a 3-year deal for 2.75. It's not going to kill you. It's just not. You're going to have young guys coming up, and then the cream rises to the top. If he steps up and plays better, he'll earn it. If not, he'll be back on the fourth line, and you can move off from him at his next contract. Just let him walk. Michael T says, I don't know if you could say the league doesn't like the Islanders, but the people in Toronto definitely do not like the Islanders. I think Gary Bettman loves the Islanders. Just saying.
Gary Bettman doesn't like any Canadian teams.
He doesn't. Well, you know that. Oh, here we go. Frank from Empire says, good. The league, let the league screw us. Maybe they want us to get McKenna. I'd love to get McKenna.
Yeah. Imagine McKenna and Schaefer.
X, do you remember before the draft lottery, I said the Islanders are winning this draft lottery this year?
Yeah, I do remember you saying that. You remember why I said they won the draft lottery?
Yeah, after they won. 2 weeks after they won.
Do you remember why I said that they won it?
Yes, because of the All-Star game.
Correct.
But I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling like 3, 4, 5 days before I said the Islanders are winning the draft lottery. I just had a feeling.
And you know who's winning the draft lottery next year or for the upcoming draft?
Gungun says, Son X is a likable bloke. Grumpy, back in the 70s, did you ever toke? We'll just leave all of those secondary comments away. Son X is a likable bloke.
Did you ever toke, Grumpy?
I don't know anything about that.
Oh!
Frank from Empire State says, hit the thumbs up button. Please do. Freedom Fun Adventure goes, Sunday night show should be named Grumpy X Sports. No, the, or, and. Exactly like that. Catchy like Pinky Blinders. Grumpy, yeah, hey, that's a good name, X. Maybe we'll just Grumpy X Sports.
I don't know what's involved with changing the name. I don't know if we have to create a whole new channel or what.
I don't think we're going to create a new channel. I just think that'd be disastrous.
Yeah, I'd probably mess them up. So.
Maybe TJ can help. Frank says, X-Man is a natural. Oh, my God.
That's right.
Kissing X's ass over here.
Natural.
Matthew Sklaroff says, doesn't really matter. We're trying to be bad, so why not give us a lot of back-to-backs? Exactly, Matthew. You're thinking correct. Drew says, would honestly love a down year in the Doug Waite style hockey returning. The team will at least be somewhat entertaining at least. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And even if you don't get McKenna, if you get, if you get you get a pick in the top 6 or 7, and you got 2 or 3 other first rounders, you can package those and move up. You can just pick the best player. The team needs young, fresh blood in the organization. This year was a good step forward, a really good step. It's just step 1. Step 2 is next year in a deep draft. That's all I'm hoping for. Gungu says, Grumpy, how much fiber is in your diet? Pretty much a lot. If the Islanders win the Stanley Cup, would Long Island riot? I don't think they would. I don't think anybody really cares.
What do you think would happen if the Islanders won a Stanley Cup, Grump? Well, obviously they'd have a parade. Do you think many people would attend?
I think a lot of people would attend. I'd attend. I'd go up there. Absolutely.
Ooh, okay. So we need a cup for Grumpy to get into attendance.
Absolutely.
Right.
It'd be absolutely be worth doing that. Freedom Fun Adventure says, Son X seems so happy, light, and confident. Like you got a 300-pound bold dumbbell off his back. Oh, boy.
I feel much lighter.
Michael T says Pounders have a good record at home. Just saying. They close out with a lot of home games at the end of the year. That'd be typical Islanders, though.
That's because teams have already clinched their playoff spots, and they don't care, and they throw backups out there.
Well, let's say the Islanders in the dark times, they'd be in position to get like a number 1 pick or number 2 pick, and then they'd wind up win up a bunch of games right at the end.
Ooh, yep. That's perfect.
That's worst case scenario.
Oh yeah, great. It's like the who is it? I want to say it was. Oh shoot! It was like I think last year in football, somebody had like the number 1 overall pick, and then they ended up winning like their last game of the season or whatever, and then they ended up dropping down to the second pick in the draft.
Patriots did that.
How dumb. Ugh.
Dumb. Different Mind says, didn't Detroit sweep the Islanders last year? Yes, they did. And they have a goaltender this year in John Gibson. Who knows? Drew says, I've got 4 wins, Son X. I expect our defense is going to be almost historically terrible this year. That would not surprise me at all. Okay. Pulak and Pellick are the only guys who play, and Mayfield to some extent, the only guys who play defense out of that depth chart. Romanov absolutely does not. Tony D'Angelo doesn't even know where the defensive zone is. And Isaiah George or Adam Boquist, no, sorry. Drew says, I honestly feel for Sorokin because of all the Twitter is going to bash him when we have cones on defense all season long. I predict you will see that as well. They're going to blame the goalie because he's the one giving up the goals, but it's not going to be his fault necessarily.
Yeah, you got to look at the situation. If you got a team coming in on a two on none or 2-on-1, that's not on the goalie. That's not on the goalie.
Or point blank shots where he'll make 5 saves and they score the 6th one.
Yeah. I would look at his save. Well, honestly, I don't even think save average is worth looking at that point in time, but
save percentage is what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Michael T says, will Drouin get a hat trick this year? I'm going to say, do you think he gets a hat trick? I'm going to say no.
I'm going to go against you. I'm going to say yes.
Oh, okay. I like it. All right. I'm not going to forget that one.
Don't worry. And when it happens, I won't forget either.
I know you won't. Freedom Fund Adventure says, Grumpy, how is that dull robot that you married? Oh my goodness. Freaking X. The warden obviously spoiled those boys rotten, and X says that TJ outed her age live on the air. Yeah, they're both kind of dumb when it comes to stuff like that. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, I forgot about it too until it just brought it up. Yeah.
The warden likes to listen to this show in particular.
That's me rewinding.
Oh, my goodness. Imperial Rising says, shout out to Son X. Since you became the host, I get notifications every time. Well done. The commonality in the NHL schedule regarding back-to-backs, the highest numbers predominantly in the East. Well, it's easier because there's less travel in the East. A lot of teams in a close area, like Carolina and Washington. Carolina and Washington. Oh, my gosh, that's a long ways away. It's really not. It's further from New York to Buffalo than it is from Carolina to Washington. Logistically. Yep. Michael T says, Schaefer will play as many games as he can, but the Islanders will handle it correctly and make him go to college. I'd like to see him go to Bridgeport, but that's a losing culture. He can't go to Bridgeport this year. So that's just the way the system is. It's the last year of the CBA. He cannot go to Bridgeport. He'd have to play on the big team or go back to juniors, or he could go to college. And I want him to go to college. And I want him to play as many games as possible against better competition, though, than in juniors. Drew says, Grumpy, I think you meant to say 183 pounds for Schaefer. A very big difference. LOL. Yeah, I probably did. What did I say, 173?
I think you said 170-something pounds.
Okay, my mistake. And I make a lot of mistakes. That's okay. Thank you for calling me out, Drew. I appreciate it.
I'll call you out when Druin scores a hat trick.
Yeah, thanks a lot, you bastards, both of you.
Don't worry.
Different Mind says, Grumpy and Son X, how confident are you in the Darsh era Islanders in developing defensemen? Dobson had some defensive mistakes, but he was only 25 and got jerked around by Trotz, Lambert, and Roy. Okay, I'm going to say it again. The biggest issue that Dobson had was the partners he was teamed with. If he plays with, I think his name is Goulet in Montreal, you're going to see big improvement from him. When he played with Pellick, he was really good. When he played with a solid defenseman, he's good. It lets him do what he does best. When he has to cover for a guy like Romanov or, a Chara or Andy Green or Johnny Boychuk, who are all in their last legs, kid gets exposed. I mean, I think it's way too early to tell about how the Islanders are going to be developing defense.
I agree, and I think with Darsh, I think we'll get a better idea once we see how Schaefer performs.
Well, I don't think
it means a development of defensemen.
He's a unicorn for me.
Because he's so good.
He's so good. It's developing the other guys.
Yeah.
Is going to be the issue.
Aitchison, I think, is going to be a big one.
Aitchison, Isaiah George.
Yep.
The Pulkinen kid. These are the guys I'm looking at. How did they develop in the minors? That's what it's all about. Those are your test cases going forward.
Yep.
I don't think it's Matthew Schaefer. Okay, what do we got here, X? The Islanders. I'm sorry, the Jets, another loser franchise.
Yeah, they were the ones who won that last game of the year, which actually had them lose out at getting Burrow as their quarterback.
Actually, I thought it was Lawrence.
Or Trevor Lawrence. Sorry, Trevor Lawrence. That's right.
But they all wound up busting out. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is another guy.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Trevor
This
Lawrence.
Is what we want to talk about with teams, with players getting drafted in certain situations. Trevor Lawrence is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
He got drafted on a terrible team in the Jaguars.
Well, and he had a horrible coach in Urban Meyer, which just set him back a year. Yeah. And then, he was good with Peterson one year, and then next year is not. He gets injured. He takes a lot of hits, gets injured a lot.
It's because their team sucks. He's got no offensive line.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
just saying, like, for instance, how he said not to rush guys. I think if he got the Jordan Love treatment where he was sitting behind another quarterback for 2 or 3 years or 2 years where he got to develop a little bit, I think he might have had a little bit better of a career.
The problem in the NFL is you're paying guys that you want guys to be good on their rookie contracts.
Yep.
Because if they're any good, they're going to get like $40 million a year as opposed to whatever they get to start.
I agree. And I think that's why you see a lot of quarterbacks who are drafted number 1 overall, who are really, really good in college, end up flaming out because they get put in a crappy situation. The team sucks. They lose their confidence, and that's it.
True that.
Same thing we're talking about with Schaefer, where we feel he needs to go ahead and build that confidence up and develop in college.
I agree. Drew says Schaefer can't sign his entry-level contract until September 5th, which is his birthday. That's right. He'll be 18 years old.
18 years old.
I don't want him signing that ELC. Go to college, kid. Go to college. Go there for a year. Frank from Empire State says he needs reps in college. Only played 17 games, as you all know. Well, it's 22 with the tournament, but yes, we understand. Freedom Fun Adventure says, Grumpy, as I told you 2 dummies last week, and you didn't believe me, Schaefer cannot sign before turning 18. He also can't sign of going to college, but the birthday is a big issue. He can't sign because he goes to college, correct. You can still go to college.
You can.
Yeah, absolutely can. That age has no bearing on going to college. I went to college. I was only 17. Michael T said, mentally and emotionally, Schaefer is very mature and can probably handle the NHL in that way, but he needs to grow more in stature. Is too small for NHL action. Agreed. And that's the whole thing. He needs to put on a little bit more size.
Yep.
He to me, he's Cale Makar. When I see him, I see Cale Makar. I just do. And isn't it great to have somebody like that in your organization?
Yep.
You get that McKenna kid. Got McKenna. It's like McKinnon and McCarr back there.
Double M, M&M.
Oh, man, the M&M boys. I like that.
Oh, we already have it. We already have the franchise tag figured out.
Well, you know who were the original M&M boys?
No.
Mantle and Maris for the Yankees back in the early 1960s.
Interesting.
Drew says, X has a lot to learn, but give him time. Sooner or later, he'll start to get knowledge of the sport, and then he can check Grumpy on his constant misinformation that he spews, LOL.
Oh, I will absolutely check him.
Now I see why TJ, I don't know what TJ was talking. Yeah, probably why TJ
was a tyrant. I forgot to flag that last one. I do remember what he said. Was a tyrant.
Greg Frost says Schaefer needs another year of junior. No need to ruin another great prospect. Exactly. I just think he's too good for juniors. If you want to play him 9 games with the intention of sending to junior, okay. But I think he'd be better served long term by playing in college. That's just me. Greg Frost says, just like they ruined Dobson, maybe the Canadians can save his career. I don't think they ruined Dobson. I don't think they did. Playing for a loser hurts, though. Michael T says, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep. All R.I.P.
Thomas Antonetti says, gents, will you go back to twice a week for the Islanders Never Say Die podcast once the season begins? I don't think X wants to do that.
I'll have to see time wise. But as of right now, probably just once. We can discuss once the season starts. I mean, who knows? Maybe the team can take off and become really, really good.
Well, there you go.
We'll have to do twice a week.
There you go.
We'll have so much good stuff to talk about.
As of right now, I think we're thinking once a week.
Yeah, once a week for right now.
Michael T says, I feel we have a situation at goalie. Sorokin's a starter, but how many games will he play, and how many games will Rittich play, and will Varley play at all? I think Rittich is going to be your backup goalie. I don't think Varley's going to make it back.
No, I think he's finished.
Yep. And David Rittich is an okay backup. So he plays, 30 games? That gives 42 for 50, maybe 35. Give Sorokin 47.
At what point in the season do you think they'll decide to rest Sorokin?
I think he'll play as long as he's healthy.
Okay, so you don't think that they would rest him if the team's just getting repeatedly killed week in, week out?
I know he's going to get 16 games off automatically on those back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Those will be 16. And I think you're going to see where, other than that, it'll be like a 2-1 split.
Okay.
And, that's fair. I mean, he's getting paid like a number one. You don't want him playing 45 games. He should be playing more than that. Frank from Empire State says, I can't wait for Romanoff to be an all-star and see what Grumpy says. Yeah, that's when hell freezes over. That piece of shit is never going to be an all-star.
Then you wake up.
You can book that. Never. Never freaking ever. Never, ever is Romanoff going to be an all-star. He's not even an all-star in his own house. He's like third string. It's his wife and the dog, and then Romanoff is the defenseman.
He has a dog?
I don't even care. Maybe an maybe a lamp. A lamp is a better defender than Alexander Romanoff. It just stands there. Just sits there on a table. At least it's not running out of position. If the lamp is jumping across the room and smashing into the wall, and then somebody can run to the television, okay, that's Romanoff. That's what he does. Freedom Fund Adventure says a few of the Islanders beat reporter mentioned George looked like he had put on a serious amount of muscle. Not that any of the reporters appear to know anything about fitness. I don't know. Let's see. That's what he should have done. If you're serious about your career, you absolutely should. And maybe he did. Maybe he learned, you know what? I went up there for, a cup of coffee last year, and I was outmatched physically. I came to the determination I need to put on more weight. If Isaiah George turns into a legit player, man, signing Romanoff was really a dumb move. Not just because I hate him and he sucks, but it causes you, now you got Adam Pelech who has to move because of the contract that Romanoff signed. But again, that's if Isaiah George turns into being a legit player. And if you're looking at him, you're not looking at him as a third pair guy. You're probably looking at him as a second pair guy because he can move the puck and he can create some offense. You don't look for that on your third pairing. That's what you look for on your second pairing. Romanov is, to me, a third pairing guy. Lou Rivera says, Grumpy, you shit on Holmstrom, and he did well, so you're not always right. Okay, at the time, he sucked. And I always reserve the right to change my opinion on – put that back up, Yellow, please.
Wrong. Oh, I just exited out.
Oh, my God. I absolutely shit on Holmstrom for the first few years. Absolutely. You want to know why? Because he deserved to be shit on, because he played like shit. Patrick Roy got through to him and said, you know what, son? You can't be a perimeter Pete. You're going to have to go fight along. You want to play in this league, you're going to have to hit the walls. You're going to have to go in there into the dirty areas. You're going to have to go and dig pucks out of corners. And to his credit, and I've given him credit all year last year, and I continue to give him credit. He gets probably more credit than he deserves. I said, that kid absolutely has earned his spot on the team. He absolutely has. He played like dog shit the previous time when he was forced into the lineup when he wasn't ready or good enough, but he absolutely turned his game around last year. Kudos to the kid. That's what I said. And I'm saying the same thing about Pierre Engvall, who I thought was a dumb trade to pick him up. Another Swede who likes to hang around the out on the perimeter. But he showed, Patrick Roy got in him a few times. And you saw an uptick in his game where he was going into the corners, digging out pucks, being more involved physically. If that's what you get from Pierre Engvall, he can be a player on my team. It's only when I'm just going to, skate around like it's the Ice Capades out here. I don't want guys like that on my team. You know who else doesn't want guys like that on a team? The Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Those guys don't make it on their team.
They want guys like Marchand.
You want to win in this league, you got to be willing to engage in all aspects of the game. I liked what I saw from Holmstrom almost all of last year, and I gave him credit, Lou, and I gave him credit. And the same thing with Engvall. When I saw him start to step up physically, I was all on with him. I don't hate guys. I just hate the way they play. Thomas Amato says, we need to tank this year for a high draft pick again. Move some vets at the deadline. Keep kicking the can on draft night. Absolutely. 100% right. Michael T says, will Drouin and Horvat and Barzell be on the power play line? I don't see how you can have that. I don't. I think Barzell and Horvat will be on the first unit. Drouin will be on the second. Got too many guys who pass the puck.
That's what I was saying earlier. You got two playmakers and one guy who shoots.
Because D'Angelo was going to be he's going to be a passer at the top. And then you're going to have Barzell. You can't have, and then who are you going to have out there to put the puck in the net? Anders Lee and Bo Horvat? I don't know. New York Mets 777. New York Islanders. Duclair is a cryberry baby and sucks. No wonder he's been on a million teams and no one wants to keep him. We knew. Here's the thing. We questioned him last year, saying, why is he on 9 teams as a first-round draft pick, 9 teams in 11 years? Something has to be up. Every team is cutting bait with him. The Islanders signed him to a 4-year extension. 4? Really? I bet you he didn't have any other suitors. Half the teams in the league cut him already, got rid of him, didn't want him. You give him a 4-year deal, and he quits on your team. That's a problem. Freedom from Ventures says, when Sunnex ships off to Paris Island, who will take over hosting duties? The Warden, Doc Page, Fiance Y, Baby Liza?
Dog Z.
Do you know who's from Paris Island, South Carolina, X?
Who's from Paris Island, South Carolina?
Yeah. Do you know who was advertised from being from Paris Island, South Carolina?
Somebody good or bad?
Sometimes good, but sometimes bad. Sergeant Slaughter. It was Sergeant Slaughter.
I was going to say Dog the Bounty Hunter. I had no idea. I was just trying to think of something.
No, Sergeant Slaughter.
Okay.
Freedom from Adventure says, you see Hickey's comments on Henneman, said he called 5 Montreal games and was always saying that he was the Canadiens' best player. Shabanov is 170. He was not 170. Not great, but better. If he and Eklund get up to 190, watch out. I don't think Shabanov is ever going to get to 190. I think Eklund has the potential to get to 190. And Henneman is a 4th liner. He's a 4th liner. They are imminently replaceable. I don't care who it is. A 4th liner is replaceable. You
don't. Get a grinder.
They're grinders. Everybody's a grinder. I'm not saying Henneman sucks. I'm just saying he's a 4th liner. That's all. Hey, Cal Clutterbuck was a good 4th liner. Casey Zekas, good 4th liner. Were they difference makers?
Matt Martin.
Were they difference makers?
No.
No.
Although Matt Martin did have some pretty cool goals, pretty important goals.
Yeah, okay. How many goals did he score in his entire career?
Oh, not many. No, he's a fighter, but
like I said, it's not. He's a 4th liner.
Yeah.
Give me Connor McDavid over Emil Henneman.
Okay, so you're asking for the best player in the league? Come on, Grump, be realistic.
Thomas Amato says, Grump, I completely agree with J.G. Pajot being a second-line center this year to increase his value at the deadline. Absolutely. It's about setting your team up to make improvements next offseason. That's what the whole thing's about.
I understand. I'm in
full
agreement.
Organization should be 100% behind
I'm in full agreement with you on that. But an owner is looking to make a profit.
You're a company shill.
I'm just letting you know, an owner's looking to make a profit. They don't care about fan happiness. They don't. Okay. They want you coming back. That's about it.
Okay.
But so I guess, you know what, here, if the fans can sign something where they're saying we're going to continue to come to the games and support the teams regardless of how they perform, or if we decide to boost somebody's value by sticking them in a certain position on a certain line, then they probably sign off on it. They'd be like, great, let's do that.
I still think you're a company shill, X.
Just letting you know.
Michael T. say, wasn't Bridgeport like a record-breaking history bad? They were awful. Yeah, they were terrible.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if they were the worst ever, but that's what somebody said. But I've never done any legwork on that, so I don't know. They were bad though. Fredo's in charge of that organization. That's all you need to know. Freedom Fund Adventure says, "Oh my God, X doing his best Fredo impersonation, kissing Grumpy's butt is just sickening. Name Grumpy GM. Your dad works as hard as Lou. Watch out, Grumpy. He's wanting a new computer." He has been. I will say he has been complaining about his computer, and he's saying he needs to get a new computer. He needs to get a new computer. I need to get a new computer. Maybe you're right, Freedom Fund Adventure. Maybe you're right. Maybe Son X is trying to get a new computer out of me.
Please, sir, may I have a computer? Please.
Thomas Bach says, "Gentlemen, I believe it is essential for the Islanders to secure as many picks as possible. The only issue is that most of the teams that may want Pajot at the deadline already traded their 26th, so they may have to get a 27 instead. Look at the Rangers. Out of all the first-round picks they had, there are only 2 on their roster. Well, that's okay. That's okay. You want as many kicks at the can as possible. Yep. And maybe
not every pick's going to work out.
Maybe I think we're a better drafting team than the Rangers. That's all. And I don't care if they're later first-round picks. I think Colorado's going to take a step back this year. Not to, 10, but maybe to like 20. And if you get a couple other picks in the 20s, you can package a couple and move up. So many kicks at the can. So many kicks at the can. Maybe you value somebody more than other people. It's a good draft next year. At least that's what we're told as of right now. Who knows? Maybe we get lucky again and win the lottery. I'd probably pee myself.
Yeah, Lightning doesn't strike twice.
I did for Edmonton, struck 3 times.
Well, because
Freedom Fund Adventure goes, "I pointed out for years online Islanders were hurting in the organization and prospects by not having a rookie camp. Lou went on vacation after the draft. He was always about him and doing the least amount of work possible. Well, they couldn't have a camp when they had no players because he traded all his picks. Useless old bastard." David DeJesu says, "Hey guys, difference between Son X and TJ. Son X is not always in the bathroom."
That's right.
True. Very true. Freedom Fund Adventure says, "Son X, when you took the job at the sweatshop, isn't it because you were putting the most money in your pockets? Why aren't owners allowed to make money?"
So I did want to put the most money in my pocket. That is very true. But I'm not saying that owners aren't allowed to make money. I'm saying that their only purpose is to make money. That's why they buy sports teams. They don't buy them for any other reason but to make a profit. That's it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much money NHL teams make.
I guarantee you they're making a profit, though. They're not losing money. I promise you that. If they were losing money, they would absolutely dump the team off.
Charles Wong kept the team, run them on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, but I guarantee he was still making money.
I don't know if he was or not. Mario Vargas says Ozzy's last concert was July 5th.
Well, so I guess he was not out there in a concert.
And it was called July 5th. How long ago do you think that was, X? 3 weeks ago?
You said he...
18 days ago?
You said he was out there last week. It was not last week.
Okay. It was called... Well, like I said, I heard. Somebody told me that it was like last week. He was undependable for certain. Undependable person, but obviously. It was called Back to the Beginning. It was a tribute concert, and it featured a Black Sabbath reunion. It featured many bands such as Metallica and many others. There you go. Maybe they knew it was back beginning of the end is what it should have been called. So thank you for calling me out on that, Mario. And that person who gave me that information, I'm banishing him now.
Whoa. Banished.
Patrick Williams says Bridgeport lost tonight at home to Charlotte 5-2. That guarantees that they will set a new AHL record for the fewest home wins in a season, 8. They have 3 home games left and can top out at 7 wins. Through 33 home games, they're 4-21, 25, 1-3. That's not good.
The Checkers helped Bridgeport make history.
There you go. Checkers. I didn't realize the Checkers are a Florida Panthers.
They are. That's why they were saying that this was going to be like the first time ever that potentially the Stanley Cup champion and the AHL champion were both from the same team.
Well, it didn't work out.
Nope. Oh, Checkers got robbed, by the way.
I don't know.
They got
I didn't see
hosed.
it yet. That's right. You went to those.
I
games.
went to game 1 of that
I remember
series.
I remember I was not invited to that game, as I remember. Thanks.
Well, Grumpy, we didn't need you, doing something crazy and going out there and trying to sabotage the Checkers because
They lost anyway. What did it matter? They lost.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the invitation, X. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime.
Freedom Fund Adventure says, Grumpy, if you're questioning how Ozzy's family milked that cow right to the end, wait until you see how X and TJ treat you when your time comes. Yeah, that's why I say that's the reason why I don't want to get too famous.
Oh, my God. Grumpy, you sure you can't do a little bit more work?
Come on, Grumpy. Do another couple of shows. You could
I'm
do
just going to poke you. Do stuff. Do stuff.
Rich Rutsky. I wonder if that's Rich's real name. Rich Rutsky. Sun X and Grumpy get along. Boring. Bring back TJ.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Actually, we do get along.
We do get along well.
TJ has the ability to infuriate like no other.
And not just Grumpy. Everyone.
I don't think there's anyone. Well, I won't say there's no one he gets along with, but there's usually a common denominator when there's turmoil.
He would be a good heel in wrestling.
Absolutely. Just arrogant. Just
somebody you want to kick in the teeth.
That's it. Exactly.
Every time he opens his mouth, you just want to punch him.
And he does that fatal.
Yeah.
Once X learns some more stuff, maybe we'll get out. I don't
like.
like.
I'll disagree with you on certain things. Hey, we already know Druin's getting a hat trick this year. So
yeah, Drew says Sorokin's back is going to be thrown out more than a stripper this season with the amount of point blank shots, and he's going to exhaust himself over. We'll see. Drew also adds, I've seen Matthew Schaefer's comparisons, and a lot of people have him compared to Kel McCarr or Roman Yossi. He reminds me of McCarr. My little brownie says, Grump, which criteria do you use to judge a prospect's potential? Goals, playmaking, or others? No analytics, right? Yeah, no analytics. I watch how they look. Are you
positionally sound? How do you skate?
Skating for me is number one.
How do you puck handle? Stick handle. And then you look at shooting too. You look at shooting and passing, vision.
For me, skating is number one.
Yeah.
And it's not even close for number two.
You can't teach skating.
You can teach skating, but if you have a natural flair, Matthew Schaefer can skate.
What I'm saying is you can't teach speed.
Well, you can if you work on it. That's something you can work on. Now, hockey sense is another thing. How you see the ice. And that you can only do by watching.
Yeah, vision. Yeah.
Your vision it's special. That kid's special. Like Keyshawn Aitchison. I love the fact that he lays the body. But you know what else I noticed? Man, he got a little Romanoff in him. They're gonna have to teach that Romanoff out of him.
They have to teach the Romanoff out of him.
They're gonna have to whittle the Romanoff out of him.
Now, what happens if they're bunking? What happens if they're bunking with each other and the Romanoff slips on them?
They're the same guy. That's why I don't understand.
I know that's what I'm afraid of, that they're bunking together.
I just don't understand why they gave Romanoff an 8-year extension. It just made no sense. Drew says the original Eminem boy was Marshall Mathers. Okay,
that's true. Eminem.
Who the F is Mickey Mantle? That must be a. What the hell?
He's trolling you.
I know he is.
He's trolling you.
Hunter Biden says, or just Hunter, 10 of the last 12 games of the season are at home, and we will find a way to miss the playoffs. I don't know. Did you see the Hunter Biden interview?
Oh my God. Yeah. Wasn't he talking about like the difference between using cocaine and crack?
Okay. Now here's the thing. I'm not going to rip a guy when you're an addict, you're always recovering. You're always in recovery. But just to think that this guy had power in the government, kind of scary, no? I mean,
Hunter Biden,
I'm like,
Grumpy, you slipping up, little dementia time?
No, I don't think he's got dementia, but he looks.
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, no.
Biden's not even in the name; it's just Hunter.
I know. Because I don't know a whole lot of Hunters. I know one other Hunter, but
Oh my God.
Michael T says Bettman is going to rig the lottery and give the Islanders #1 overall selection again this year. Michael T. Son X has a varying opinion.
It's the Penguins.
It's
the Pens. Get ready. Get ready. It's the Pens. The passing of the torch.
And how does it?
I can see it now. They're gonna have a 30 for 30 on it.
And
crazy draft lottery won by the Penguins.
And how does it go? Can you tell us how it goes from when to when to when?
What do you mean from when to when to
How
when?
passing the torch? You're passing the torch from who to who to who?
From Mario to, was it Crosby?
Yep, to Crosby.
And then from Crosby to McKenna.
That's it. It's like the Packers did with Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Same thing.
Get ready.
Oh,
Story writes itself.
Brandon Gaines says separating Barzell and Horvat actually makes the team worse, given the lack of any top six wingers on that team. That's fine. Brett Wayner also adds, I bet that Phil's fiction gave you the bad intel on the Ozzy concert. He has a mountain of misinformation. No, it wasn't him. It was my brother, actually.
Whoa!
And he follows that stuff too.
Whoa!
So when he tells me, he's always sending texts on old rock and roll bands and stuff all the time. So he did mention that. He said, "Oh, we were just playing last week. They had him out there sitting on a chair." I'm like, okay. And, here's the thing. I don't have any reason to doubt him, but he is a Flyers fan. So I think he set me up to fail.
He was absolutely setting you up. He said, "Huh, this could make him look like a fool."
That's the last time I use him as a reference for anything on this show. He won't even listen to this show because we don't talk about the Flyers. I do talk about the Flyers. I hate them. They suck. There you go. There's my Flyers. There's my little Flyer segment. Matthew D. Bernardo says, last comment of the night, much better the last few episodes, Son X. You haven't Mitchelled it too bad. That's a reference to 3 O'Clock High.
That's right.
And Jerry, a.k.a. Son X Mitchell.
Don't this up, Mitchell.
It's my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah, it's so good. That movie is a classic.
It is a classic.
In my opinion, it's a classic. So
they don't even make movies like that now.
No, they don't.
It's a shame.
They don't.
What was the last good movie you saw, X?
In theaters?
Yeah.
God, we're going back. I'd probably say the last good movie I saw in theaters is probably Dune 2.
Okay.
Honestly, that's probably the best movie. The most recently, that's the best movie I've seen in theaters.
I enjoyed The Accountant 2.
I did not see The Accountant 2 in theaters.
Particularly the beginning. I thought it was funny.
I saw the trailer for it. It does look really funny. The first one was phenomenal. The
end was a little bit, like most of those movies, just too many shootouts and stuff like that kind of, went on a little bit too long. Now, you did see a movie, and I want to know your review for the Maltese Falcon. How did you like it?
It was good.
Just good. Okay.
That was good.
Can you name any of the stars? You just watched the movie this weekend.
Humphrey Bogart.
Okay.
I don't remember who the other guy is, but he talks like a gangster. I don't remember what his name is. The main character. I can't think.
Humphrey Bogart was the main character.
Oh, okay. So that was Humphrey Bogart. Okay. I don't know.
That's Humphrey Bogart. Yes.
Okay. I don't know who the other. There's some big guy in a chair.
And if you listen to the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man or the Grumpy X Games show, we'll be talking more about little movie reviews from Son X.
For certain.
Yeah.
Watch a lot of stuff.
All right, X. So let's wrap it up here.
All right. Anything you want to say before we log off, Grumpy?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from the Grumpy Old Man and Son X.
And I just want to thank everybody for coming out and listening to the podcast. As always, love the interaction in the comments. And we will see you guys next time.